Sundays have traditionally been a day of rest, duh. A time for sleeping in, spending the day cooking, hanging out with friends. That's what we used to do. Now this is our reality. Do you want to just bang it with a banger?
It wants to flip over right now.
Where's your mallet?
One thing I don't want.
That made a huge difference.
Yay, we got this part out.
Now we just have to get this out of the door. No wonder it's been sitting in here for all those years, right?
Yeah.
So now you've technical difficulties, as with anything we do, right? What happened to the strappy thing?
Well, it's been wound up too short, so there's too much on the reel, and this is keeping it from unwinding.
So there's no way to unwind it?
Well, there is. I'm not capable.
Now.
I'm not strong enough.
We're trying to keep the door closed on the oven. Wouldn't it just be easier to take the door off? And
for some reason, I think it would be difficult to take the door off. But.
So while Lincoln is getting the duct tape, this is a piece of wood that was in the cottage, and it was the top of the bar. I wonder what kind of swinging parties they had in here. This had to be the best built bar in all of France. It took Lincoln a couple of hours to take it apart. So this piece of wood was most likely taken from the property here. We'll definitely use it for something. We can just even out the edges. It's a beautiful piece of wood. We just need to get it out of the rain. Well, it's sort of out.
Okay.
So now we have to get it out.
It's not going to take much. I can probably push it off over. There. Yay! Now nowhere to go.
Now, what do we do?
Well, we need to put it in the trailer, but I can't bring the trailer down here because trying to get back out, I won't, especially with a heavy trailer, I won't be able to get back out.
So I think we need to wait for a friend.
Well, what we did last time was we hauled the trailer up by ourselves to the car.
Oh, you did?
Because you remember how I got stuck down here?
Yeah, I remember you got stuck because it's because it's wet and it's muddy, so you'll get stuck. All right. Well, that's what we needed. We just needed the area clear, so.
We try to move it away from the door.
Yeah, back it up. Beep, 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 beep.
That's good. That's okay. Stable enough.
We sort of changed our plans again.
Yeah, a little bit. Because we've known for some time that we need to take the ceiling down completely in order to inspect the beams, because we may need to replace beams or add beams.
Yeah.
So just trying to take loose paint off we thought would not be enough.
Well, since we're sort of, we're putting in a temporary kitchen and we don't know how long
Right.
it will be until we can get in here and actually
Tear things apart again.
things apart again. So we thought, let's.
Now's our chance. Yeah.
So today is ceiling removal day.
A lot of woodworm, but there's a lot of pieces attached to that beam. And sometimes that's just to make it square so you can put the lath on it, you know?
So do you think this is the start of a completely different renovation project now?
Possibly. So we need to figure out if it's structurally sound.
Yeah.
All the wood in there, you know? I
Right.
mean, the outside walls, stone, that's great. We gotta figure out if all the wood needs to be done.
Okay, so it's just a matter of you getting down the rest of the ceiling and...
Yeah, inspecting. There's a lot of woodworm. A whole bunch of sawdust came down.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't have been sawdust up there, you know? Get it apart, and I mean, we knew we had to do this anyway. And
well, I know
we suspected we might need to do the beams at least, you know, so.
Yeah, it's just like we always say, you never know what you're going to encounter when
sure,
you
yeah,
start
yeah.
something on these old buildings. So
If something's covered up, assume the worst. Don't assume, oh, it must be fine if it looks okay.
right. Okay, so you're going to finish that up, and I'm going to head into the Christmas market
Have fun.
with the girls.
Yeah, you guys have
Not
fun.
exactly the greatest day outside. It's
Well, at least it's warm.
It's warm, but
It's
it's
almost 60 degrees, I think.
raining. While Europeans are used to old stuff, we Americans, at least this one in particular, is amazed every time I pass by an old building or structure. Like this fountain that dates back to the 1500s. It's still here. Nobody tore it down to build a Walmart. Brittany has always had a separate identity to the rest of France, settled by Celtic migrants who arrived from Britain in the 5th and 6th centuries. The region remains proud of its heritage with a rich tradition of Celtic music and culture. After the Revolution, French was declared the official language of France, and the Breton language was spoken less and less. In 2008, the French National Assembly voted for a constitutional amendment recognizing regional languages as part of French heritage. Today, when you drive around the region, you'll see signs in French and Breton. The Christmas market was kind of a bust due to the weather, but we followed others into the church. And I know what you're thinking. No, I did not burst into flames. There was a performance scheduled which we thought might be a Christmas sing-along, but it turned out to be something completely different. There's a reason for my quick history lesson. The musical trio who performed are young musicians trying to preserve and champion the Breton language and cultural heritage through music with sort of a modern twist. Even my 2 teenagers liked it. Oh my goodness.
See this beam?
Did you just finish?
Yeah, well, I stopped because it got dark.
Yeah, so what did you discover?
Well, there was a lot more framing and stuff. It was just for the plaster, you know?
So this is, oh, wow.
See all that stuff?
Yeah.
And then you look at that end, you see remember how big the beam looked?
Yeah.
It's crooked,
It's a curved beam.
and it's curved, so they just tried to make it look straight, basically. So,
Which structurally didn't help
see this
anything.
piece of wood hanging down there?
Yeah.
That was the edge of where the plaster was.
This
The one
piece
coming
right
straight
here.
down.
Yeah, I see. Mhm.
Right there.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so much wood here.
Oh, it looks even better in the light. So what have we done? So I think this was the wisest thing for us to do, is to take down the plaster just to see what lies beneath.
We knew we were going to eventually do it, and it makes such a mess that
Yeah.
it's better to do it when there's nothing in here. There's a lot of woodworm, but I don't know that it's in the beams. I mean, the main beam has some for sure.
Right, but just because it's eaten some of the outside of the beam doesn't mean that the beam
Right.
isn't still structurally
Right.
sound.
And
So
you can see a couple that are very powdery looking. That one,
yeah, that one
and
doesn't look
down
that
there.
good.
That's the same beam actually. So, and those other pieces of wood were just there to hold the plaster. up. The
skinny ones
thinner
going
ones.
in
The same
this
direction.
Well, we had a friend come over yesterday, and he took a peek, and he said he'd come back when everything was done, just to
Yeah.
see how we can shore up these other
Right.
beams. The floor above is
It looks kind of like a punch bowl.
bowed.
Well, everything has settled. Definitely, it's all
Right.
sagged.
So we might need to shore up these beams or add additional beams,
Or replace them.
which sounds like a big job. Do we replace beams before we do our temporary kitchen? Is this turning into a complete cottage renovation? That's what I'd like to know, because
Well, what we need to figure out is if we can get it to a state where we can't expect anything to be dripping down from it, you know.
exactly,
If
dust.
we can get all the dust and the loose stuff off, then it's perfectly fine to leave that way.
to put in our
Right.
temporary kitchen.
Just worried about things falling
Yeah.
in the food and
Yeah, and we didn't want to leave the muckety muck above us, because
oh yeah.
yeah. The plan is just to continue removing the ceiling and then clean everything up, have somebody come over, take a look, make sure it's structurally sound so nothing is going to collapse in on us. I don't think it is. I mean, you can walk around upstairs. It's nothing
Yeah,
is
yeah.
is really
And they're very large beams, so
yeah.
with the outside edge just a little powdery, that doesn't really make them weaker, but I'm sure they're probably still strong enough. But we'll have an expert determine that.
Yeah. Have fun.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have something to say, leave us a comment.